Hey everyone, welcome back to iHeart Sports. I'm Alex Hart here to count down the MLB season with you. We are now 14 days away from first pitch. Hopefully, I hope we can make it. A lot of news coming out. The schedule has been posted for all of the teams. I'm going to take a look at that. We're going to kind of go over quickly what each team expects to see and the schedule. We're going to take a look at specifically the Washington Nationals schedule. We're going to, reigning champs, we got to take a look at it. Plus, they're the first game of the season. They're starting up on the 23rd, just 2 weeks away. On top of that, we're going to just do a quick update. The MLB is struggling out of the gate. There's a lot of criticism going on. Testing just isn't going as quick as they had anticipated. Earlier in the week, this week, not all the teams were able to start their training camps as planned. The tests have been done, but the results just aren't in, and teams were having to cancel their workouts Monday, Tuesday of this week just because they had to do the safe thing. And it raises a ton of concerns around the league whether they can really do this traveling plan that they plan to be doing now. I'm a little skeptical that they're going to be able to pull it off. 30 stadiums, it's a lot different from what the other sports are going to do. But we're still holding out hope, and with each day comes, we're more likely to get at least the game started. So a quick update from our last video. We had talked about how Freddie Freeman was one of the people that was diagnosed with COVID. There was an update to that. His wife threw out this tweet earlier this week. Most of you might know by now, Freddie tested positive. He has had body aches, headaches, chills, and a fever. He is rarely someone who gets sick, and this virus hit him like a ton of bricks. So far, Charlie, Carol, and I are okay. We appreciate the messages and everything like that. This is a pretty big concern considering how healthy Freddie was described to be. Nick Markakis, who is a teammate of Freddie, decided to also drop out for the season now. That makes it the second Atlanta Brave to really come out and say they're not playing, on top of everyone on their team that has tested positive. Markakis specifically talked about a phone call that he had with Freddie. Freddie just wasn't sounding like himself, and he is just saying it's not worth it. I'm starting to think that as more players get sick and talk to their teammates, and the risk starts to be really much more apparent, that we might see a lot more players drop out. However, right now the trend really tends to be the players that have been around for a lot longer, have made their money in baseball, more likely to take a time off for the season. We had talked about this in a couple of videos ago. However, a little more details have come out with the schedule. As we know, each team is going to play 10 games against their own divisions, so that equates to about 40 games. And then the other 20 games are going to be against the cross division. So, for example, the National League East is going to go against the American League West, and then Centrals will play, and then the Wests will play. At first, in the last video, I kind of anticipated that it was just going to be 1 4-game sets against each of the cross-division teams. Doesn't look like it's going to be that way. It's a little bit unbalanced. Some teams will play 6 against one team, and then only a few against the others. But I think they just did that so that they could have a couple of series, and they weren't all going to be 4-game series. That way they could fit in a couple of 3-game series. So let's take a look at the Washington Nationals schedule specifically. So here's an example. It's the National schedule. As you can see, they're going to play a couple practice games, the 18th, 20th, 21st. I'm not quite sure. I'm assuming there's going to be some travel in between there, but as you can see, Baltimore, home and home. Guess it's really the closest team to them. So that kind of makes sense that they might do it that way. Then they got the Yankees opening night and a day off. So as you can see, let's just look at this for example. They got 3 games against the Yankees, 4 games against the Toronto Blue Jays. So both of those are in the AL East, the cross-division matchup. So I'm just kind of focusing in on those. And then if we look further down in the season, they got in August 3 games against Baltimore, and then a break, and then 3 games against Baltimore. So they're overall playing 6 against Baltimore, 4 against Toronto, 3 against the Yankees. And then if you go ahead into September, they have a little bit, and most teams, again, are kind of set up the exact same way. In September, they got 2 games against the Tampa Bay Rays, the 7th and 8th, and then they play another series before they have 2 games against Tampa. So it's kind of like a home and home. Every team kind of has that same setup where they play 3, 4, 6, and then a home and home. And then I think lastly I'm just missing Boston, and they're just in late August, and again it's a 3. So this is the national schedule. However, like I was saying, I'm just using them as an example. Every team is set up like this. They're playing their 60 games over really 2 months. So if we get this season off, it's gonna be fun. September is gonna be the most intense September that we have ever seen in baseball, I think. So that's it. 2 weeks away. A little bit more news coming out. MLB struggling to get things going. Freddie and the Braves having a little bit, giving us an idea of what teams might be in for should players get the virus. And as well, the schedule's out, so we can look ahead and see who's playing who and when. And gotta admit, it's going to be intimidating watching all these games coming through over a course of 2 months. However, it's baseball. We're all excited. Hopefully we can get this season underway and everyone will stay safe and secure during these times. Until next time, I'm hoping to start doing up some division previews, and we'll get those out in the next probably week and a half. I want them all up and going a little bit before the season starts, so probably going to kick those off this weekend. So look forward to that. We'll catch you guys again soon. Peace.